Hello, so we're continuing with our discussion of IMF. This one will be talking about IMF responsibilities. So there are three. IMF's fundamental mission is to help ensure stability in the international financial system. It does so in three ways. First is keeping track of the global economy and the economies of member countries under, surveillance, through surveillance, lending to countries with balanced payments difficulties, and then giving practical help to members. Okay, so under surveillance, IMF oversees the international monetary system and monitors the financial and economic policies of its members. It keeps track of economic developments on a national, regional, and global basis, consulting regularly with member countries and providing them with macroeconomic and financial policy advice. For the technical assistance, so to assist mainly low and middle income countries in effectively managing their economies. The IMF provides practical guidance and training on how to upgrade institutions and design appropriate macroeconomic, financial, and structural policies. Of course, normally what implements that is the monetary board of each country through their central banks. Lastly, we have the lending. IMF provides loans to countries that have trouble meeting their international payments and cannot otherwise find sufficient financing on affordable terms. So this financial assistance is designed to help countries restore macroeconomic stability by rebuilding their international reserves, stabilizing their currencies, and paying for imports, all necessary conditions for relaunching the growth. The IMF also provides concessional loans to low-income countries to help them develop their economies and reduce poverty. Okay, so we'll be dividing this into two. The first part is we'll be discussing surveillance and technical assistance, and then we'll stop at that. We'll have a separate video for lending. Okay. So for surveillance, so we have country surveillance, regional, and then global. When a country joins the IMF, it agrees to subject its economic and financial policies to the scrutiny of the international community. It also makes a commitment to pursue policies that are conducive to orderly economic growth and reasonable price stability. Anyway, all countries have that aim naman. All countries have that aim of ensuring economic growth and development and ensuring price stability, or ensuring that their currencies have they call that strong purchasing power, something like that. To avoid manipulating exchange rates for unfair competitive advantage, especially for an exchange between two countries, and to provide the IMF with data about its economy. The IMF's regular monitoring of economies and associated provision of policy advice is intended to identify weaknesses that are causing or could lead to financial or economic instability. So this process is known as surveillance. So if you'd remember, they also provide technical assistance, right? And for them to be able to provide this, then they would need to conduct surveillance for them to understand the particular situation of that member country. Okay, so country surveillance, ongoing process that culminates in regular, usually annual, comprehensive consultations with individual member countries, with discussions in between as needed. The consultations are known as Article 4 consultations because they are required by Article 4 of the IMF's Articles of Agreement. During an Article 4 consultation, an IMF team of economists visits a country to assess economic and financial developments and discuss the country's economic and financial policies with government and central bank officials, normally central bank officials. IMF staff missions also often meet with parliamentarians or politicians and representatives of business, labor unions, and civil society. The team reports its findings to IMF management and then presents them for discussion to the executive board, which represents all of the IMF's member countries. A summary of the board's views is subsequently transmitted to the country's government. In this way, the views of the global community and the lessons of international experience are brought to bear on national policy. So summaries of most discussions are released in press releases and are posted on the IMF's website, as are most of the country reports prepared by the staff. So what's good about this is that, international cooperation, some countries would probably be experiencing something that they haven't experienced before, but other members have. So through the IMF, with their, experience, with their reports, with their data collection or information available to them, they could really provide informative discussions or informative, what do you call that, advice or technical assistance to their member countries. Okay. Regional surveillance involves examination by the IMF of policies pursued under currency unions, including the Euro area, the West African Economic and Monetary Union, the Central African Economic and Monetary Community, and the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Regional economic outlook reports are also prepared to discuss economic developments and key policy issues in Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and Central Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Western Hemisphere. Okay. Certain countries, they do, group together and come to an agreement on their own. Like here we have ASEAN countries, of course, things like that. Okay. Normally countries that are near each other, territory-wise. Okay. Next we have global surveillance. Entails reviews by the IMF's Executive Board of global economic trends and developments. The main reviews are based on the World Economic Outlook reports, Global Financial Stability Report, which covers developments, prospects, and policy issues in international financial markets. And then you have the Fiscal Monitor, which analyzes the latest developments in public finance. All three reports are published twice a year, with updates being provided on quarterly basis. In addition, the Executive Board holds more frequent informal discussions on world economic and market development. Okay. So we have that here. And then what do they look at? Surveillance covers a range of economic policies with emphasis varying in accordance with the country's individual circumstance. Of course, it would depend on that. So what do they look at? You have your exchange rate, monetary, and fiscal policies, because these do affect the financial system and, of course, the economic situation of the country. IMF provides advice on issues such as the choice of exchange rate policies and ensuring consistency between the regime and fiscal and monetary policies. Then you have your financial sector issues, receiving elevated coverage in surveillance reports, building on the achievements under the Fiscal Sector Assessment Program, which enables the IMF and the World Bank to gauge the strengths and weaknesses of countries' financial sectors. Assessment of risk and vulnerabilities stemming from large and sometimes volatile capital flows has become more central to IMF surveillance in recent years. Okay, risk management has been has cropped up in recent years, and many businesses and many governments have seen the importance of risk management. Okay. In risk management, of course, you have to identify the risk, assess the risk, and then mitigate the risk. Okay. Institutional and structural issues have also gained importance in the wake of financial crisis and in the context of some countries' transition from planned to market economies. The IMF and the World Bank play a central role in developing, implementing, and assessing internationally recognized standards and codes in areas crucial to the efficient functioning of a modern economy, such as central bank independence, financial sector regulation, and policy transparency and accountability. Okay. Continuing this one, we have technical assistance. So we have, we'll be discussing beneficiaries of technical assistance, types of technical assistance, and then working closely with donors. Okay. IMF shares its expertise with member countries by providing technical assistance and training in a wide range of areas, such as central banking, monetary and exchange rate policy, tax policy and administration, and official statistics. The objective is to help improve the design and implementation of members' economic policies, including by strengthening skills in institutions such as finance ministries, central banks, and statistical agencies. So here in the Philippines, that would be the Department of Finance, the Central Bank, BSP, and then you have your PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority. Okay. The IMF has also given advice to countries that have had to reestablish government institutions following severe civil unrest or war. Okay, in recent years, the IMF has embarked on an ambitious reform effort to enhance the impact of its technical assistance. Essentially, for say, they're going to provide the technical assistance. They want it to be implemented and they want to see if it really improves the situation in their member countries. Okay, as a researcher, that's what you want to happen. You have your data, you have your recommendations, and you have to see the effect that it would have in actual scenarios. Okay. The reforms emphasize better prioritization, enhanced performance measurement, more transparent costing, and stronger partnership with donors. Okay. Beneficiaries of technical assistance. So one of IMF's core activities, it is concentrated in critical areas of macroeconomic policy where the fund has the greatest comparative advantage. Thanks to its near universal membership, the IMF's technical assistance program is informed by experience and knowledge gained across diverse regions and countries at different levels of development. Okay? About 80% of the IMF's technical assistance goes to low and lower middle income countries, in particular in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. Post-conflict countries are major beneficiaries. The IMF is also providing technical assistance aimed at strengthening the architecture of the international financial system, building capacity to design and implement poverty-reducing and growth programs, and helping heavily indebted poor countries in debt reduction and management. Okay? Types of technical assistance. Takes different forms according to needs, ranging from long-term hands-on capacity building to short-notice policy support in a financial crisis. Technical assistance is delivering in a variety of ways. IMF staff may visit member countries to advise government and central bank officials on specific issues, or the IMF may provide resident specialists on a short or long-term basis, depending on, how long do they need it. Technical assistance is integrated with country reform agencies as well as the IMF surveillance and lending operations. So, if the technical assistance would also require the lending, then that could be done. IMF is providing an increasing part of its technical assistance through regional centers located in, Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Ghana, Mauritius, and Tanzania for Africa, in Barbados and Guatemala for Central America and the Caribbean, in Lebanon for the Middle East, and in Fiji for the Pacific Islands. The IMF also offers training courses for government and central bank officials of member countries at its headquarters in Washington, D.C., and at regional training centers in Austria, Brazil, China, Singapore, Tunisia, and the United Arab Emirates. Okay. Partnership with donors. Bilateral and multilateral donors are playing an increasingly important role in enabling the IMF to meet country needs in this area, with their contributions now financing about 2/3 of the IMF's field delivery of technical assistance. Strong partnerships between recipient countries and donors enable IMF technical assistance to be developed on the basis of a more inclusive dialogue and within the context of a coherent development framework. The benefits of donor contributions thus go beyond the financial aspect. Okay, so aside from the money, of course, there's the guidance, actual guidance, And of course, the research, the study that will allow them to actually understand what's going on in the country and what it needs to improve. Okay. So the IMF is currently seeking to leverage the comparative advantages of its technical assistance to expand donor financing to meet the needs of recipient countries. As part of this effort, the fund is strengthening its partnerships with donors by engaging them on a broader, longer term, and more strategic basis. Those dogs again. Alright, we'll be done soon. The idea is to pool donor resources in multi-donor trust funds that would supplement the IMF's own resources for technical assistance while leveraging the fund's expertise and experience. Okay, because of the membership, they did gain the expertise and the experience, right? They probably have the experts of all experts and the brightest minds. Okay. Expansion of the multi-donor trust fund model is envisaged on a regional and tropical basis, offering donors different entry points according to their priorities. To this end, the IMF is establishing a series of, topical. Why did I read that as tropical? Topical trust funds covering such topics as anti-money laundering, combating the financing of terrorism, fragile states, public financial management, management of natural resource wealth, public debt sustainability and management, statistics and data provision, and financial sector stability and development. Okay, so we'll end this here. We'll have a separate video for lending. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks and bye.